Hi boys and girls, today we're going to talk a little bit about MAPS. MAPS is our new social studies unit and what we'll be learning about in social studies for probably the rest of the year. So the first thing I want to do with MAPS is I want to ask what you already know about MAPS. What do MAPS help you do? Did you say that they help you find your way to different places? They help you get places. They give you directions. There's lots of different types of maps we can use. Some maps are on paper, and a lot of maps we use now are on our phones or in our cars. We might call it GPS. So your parents can type directions right into, or type an address right into their phone and search for that address, and their phone will give them directions right to that place. But on their phone, when they do that, you'll see a map. And some of you might even have a map in your car that pops up in the front so your parents can see it when they're driving. And we will also be looking at some maps that are on paper today. So one type of map that we know about is a globe, right? A globe shows us a map of the entire world. So our Earth, our planet Earth, and all of the different land and oceans on the Earth, we can see in a globe. Actually, stay there. I'll be right back. I have a globe to show you. Here's a globe right here, right? So this is a small globe, and you can see all of the blue parts. That's the ocean on the Earth. And then all of the colored parts, the other colors are land. So let's see. If you look at our Earth, this is the continent of North America. And we live in New Hampshire, so we are right around there on the globe. So the globe is one type of map. And we also might see maps that show us different streets. And when you're looking at a map like this, you need to imagine something. You need to imagine that you're looking at the map from up in the sky. So sometimes we call it a bird's eye view. So if you're a bird flying up above overhead and you look down, the street would look a little different, right? Or if you've ever been in an airplane and looked down, this is what it might look like. So here are the streets, right? And the grass. So this is what a map might look like if you make a map of different streets and where they go and how they connect. Okay, and another important thing we need to know about maps is the different directions on a map. So this is called a compass rose. Can you say compass rose, boys and girls? Compass rose, and here are the words right here. A compass rose is a tool that shows north, south, east, and west on a map. So you can get a compass rose on your phone. You can get an app for it. Or some people have a compass rose. It looks a little bit like a watch, and it's usually something that you hold in your hand. And when you hold a compass rose, there's a little arrow that will point and show you where north is. So if you go and stand in your yard and hold a compass rose, you can find out where north is from your yard. And then you can find north and then south. If you know north is that way, or let's say that way, right? Then you would know south is opposite of north. It would be that way. Okay? And then you would also know west and east. So if you're looking at a map is always drawn to show north is on the top of the map. But when we're standing in real life in our yard, north isn't going to be up in the sky. It could be that way, or that way, or that way, or that way. Right? Depending on where you are on the earth. Because remember, the earth is round, and when you stand on it, if you head north, your compass will show you which direction that is in. Okay? And then from there, you could figure out south is the opposite of north, right? And when I'm thinking about west and east, to remember which one goes here and which one goes here, I always think of the word we. Right? That's a trick word we've learned. And you spell we, W-E. So I always remember that west is over here, E, we. If I put the E over here, the E doesn't come first in the word we, right? So that's how I remember west is over here and east is over here. I remember the word we. So that's called a compass rose. And this might sound really familiar from the classroom. This is a nice, easy way to remember north, south, west, and east. And do you remember the song and the dance that we've done on Go Noodle? Never eat soggy waffles. So if you're drawing a compass rose, N for never, E for eat, S for soggy, W for waffles. And then N also stands for, we have north, east, south, and west. So that's another fun trick to help you remember north, south, west, and east. Never eat soggy waffles. I actually attached the link for never eat soggy waffles right to this assignment. So if you feel like doing it later, you can have your parents click on it for you. It's totally optional. You don't have to, but it's a choice if you want to do it. Okay, now, thinking about our classroom map that I had shown you this morning, did you figure out that this was our classroom? If you did figure out this was our classroom, what helped you figure that out? The marker's rolling away. Fix my screen here. All right, there we go. What helped you figure out that this was our classroom? I want to show you something that would make it even more helpful. Something called a map key. So maybe some of you wondered what all these shapes were on the map that I drew. Well, if I had a map key, it would be a little chart that explains what the symbols mean on a map. That's a map key, a chart that explains what symbols mean on a map. So like, what would this symbol mean? If this is our classroom, what is this? What are these things right here? Did you say those are your tables where you sit? If you did, you are right. So if I'm making a map key for our classroom, and I want to make a, let's see, I'll write at the top, map key. And then I would draw one of those tables, and then I put the little chairs around it, right? Like that. And I would say that is a student table. So let me, oh boy. Oh my goodness, Mrs. Nivison, what did I do? I'll pick it up. So on my map key, I would show you that that symbol is a student table. Let me get my map. Did you guys just laugh at me when I dropped that? I bet you did. It's okay if you laughed at me because it was kind of funny. All right, there we go. Let's hope it stays up now. Okay, what else do you see on here? What do you guys think this is right here? That funny shaped table. We know that in our classroom, the only table shaped like that with seats like that is the teacher table, right? So on my map key, I would draw the symbol like that, and I would write teacher table. So everyone who looks at the map knows that that's the teacher table. And let's see, what else? How about this thing right here? What do you guys think that is? Think about where it is in the classroom. Did you say the back table? Where we sometimes have reading groups and math groups? That is the back table. This one right here. What about these three things? What's back there in that part of the classroom? What do we call those? We usually call those the back desks. Sometimes I have you put work on there, right? And sometimes we have extra things on those back desks. You might sit there if you need a quiet spot to work. And then thinking about the way, so this is the door where you walk into our room, right? The way back corner back here, what's back there? What do you think that symbol means? Did you say the sink? That is the sink. That's where we wash our hands. Look, sink has an INK glute sound. You see that? And the word back, those have CK digraphs at the end. Let's see, what else do we have? A suffix S on desks. And a CH digraph in teacher. ER, right? That's one of our bossy R. Okay, let's see. Let's do one more thing. How about these things right here and here? What are those? What is it? It's a door, right? That's the door that goes out to the hallway, and that's the door that goes to Miss Mahoney's room. So that would be my map key that would help figure out what all these things are on the classroom map. With a map key, my classroom map makes a whole lot more sense, doesn't it? Yeah. All right, boys and girls. Let's see. I'm going to fold this down so it doesn't fall again. Move this out of the way. And I want to show you just a couple more things before I let you go, okay? So we talked about a map key, never eat soggy waffles. We did those. So looking at, let's see. Looking at a couple more maps, here's a map of our country, the United States. And up over here is where we live in New Hampshire, right around there. Sorry, got it right around there. Let me move my other finger so you don't get confused. That's where we live. Can anybody find the compass rose on this map, showing you north, south, east, and west? Right there, right? That's the compass rose. And then what do you see at the bottom of this map, down here? What do you think that is? That would be the map key. Sometimes it says key or map key, and sometimes it doesn't. It just shows you what the symbols are. So you see the first thing is that little tiny, almost looks like part of a triangle or a point. It says that equals mountains. So anytime you see those little triangles on the map, it means there's mountains in that part of our country. So you see there's mountains over here. We have some mountains in New Hampshire, so there's a mountain symbol there. And then there's also lots of mountains in the western part of our country out here, the Rocky Mountains. So that means mountains. And then you see right below mountains, there is a little blue symbol, and it says bodies of water. We've talked about this before. A body of water is like a lake, a river, an ocean, right? So anything blue is water. So like up here, these are called the Great Lakes. You see all that blue up there. And then we have oceans, the Pacific Ocean. And then over here is the Atlantic Ocean. And then it shows you the little blue squiggly lines are rivers. So you can see, it might be hard to see on your computer, but there's little blue squiggly lines all over the map. Those are rivers. The little star is a state capital. So the state capital of New Hampshire is Concord, right? So there would be a star where Concord is. And this big star with the circle around it is a country capital. So right here is our country's capital, Washington, D.C. And then the leaf shows where there's a national park. All those little green leaf symbols. So that is a map key to help explain that map. Okay, on this map right here, this is a map of New York State. So that's another state in our country. There's the compass rose. Down here, whoops, pointing to the wrong side, is the key. And it even says key at the top of this one. It's a map key. And it shows you the black dots on the maps are cities. So there's a city. There's a city. And it even tells you the name of the city. The city's called Buffalo, Rochester, Watertown, Glen Falls. Caroline, I'm doing a video, sweetie. I'm doing a video. The star is a state capital. So Albany is the capital of New York. Okay, there's airports and roads. So that's what that map key shows you. One more thing I want to show you very quickly before we're done is called a map scale. Map scale. We know the type of scale that you can stand on and weigh yourself to find out how much you weigh, but a map scale compares the distance on a map to the distance on Earth. What does that mean? This is a map scale, and it tells you on this map, every time you see 1 inch, that actually stands for 1 mile. So if I go like that, that would be like 2 miles on that road. That's what a map scale means. All right, boys and girls, if you may have already watched the Brain Pop video, and if not, then go ahead and do that now, the Moby and Annie video, and that will help you learn even more about maps. And when you're done with that, you can go ahead and click on the map quiz and answer the questions on the map quiz for me. Okay? I'll talk to you soon. Bye, guys.